Hello, thanks for tuning in to the Hoosier Myths and Legends podcast.
I'm Rebecca Wilhelm.
I'm Mary Quigley.
And I'm Hope Wilhelm.
Join us as we dive into the spookier side of the Hoosier state.
So what comes to your mind when you think of Indiana? Do you think of corn? Do you think of basketball? Do you think of the Indianapolis 500? Maybe you think of famous celebrities who were born in Indiana, like John Mellencamp or Michael Jackson.
But as the saying goes, there is more than corn in Indiana. 92 counties make up the Hoosier State. In this podcast, we are going to discuss some Indiana folklore from each of these counties. If you are into tall tales, ghosts, or spooky legends, then this is a podcast you are not going to want to miss.
In this episode, we're going to discuss some hauntings from different restaurants from around the state.
We have covered many different types of hauntings on this show. One thing is certain, Indiana is home to lots of different legends. In doing research for episodes, I was fascinated with the amount of haunted restaurants Indiana is home to. In this episode, we are going to bring you 5 of the most haunted restaurants in the Hoosier State. Many of the places we found have been around for many decades. So, sit back, relax, and listen close. You may just hear one of your favorite places has made our list.
Let's jump right in and start the episode out with one of my favorite places to eat when I'm visiting you.
Number 1 on our list is Whiskey's Restaurant in Lawrenceburg.
Good place to start with. This is one of my favorite places to eat.
I love their potato soup.
Me too, Aunt Mary. I know Grandpa loves their ribs.
I love their pasta dishes, and I'm also a huge fan of their potato soup.
I can see why TripAdvisor has excellent reviews of this place.
But despite the great food and service, the restaurant is thought to be the home to a ghost.
So it seems. The story that you'll find if you do a Google search is that the spirit of a woman is thought to haunt the restaurant and the bar area.
So the history of the building is that it was once 2 private houses. One of the houses was a button factory. At some point, both of the homes were combined.
Yes, you can tell when you enter the foyer area of the building that they have joined 2 houses together to make one big building.
Legend claims that it was a former resident who passed in what the restaurant calls its malt room now.
The spirit is said to be an elderly lady, and she has never left the building.
Some of the claims are that the ghost would blow your candle out at your table.
Waitresses have felt their apron being tugged on when no one was there.
The creepiest thing is the smell of a woman's perfume that is smelt even when there's no one present in the dining area, and it's coming from the back of the room.
The building is really pretty, but it gives you a creepy vibe when you are there.
Earl and I have been many times over the years. It's one of our favorite places to go to celebrate our anniversary. And I have to admit, no matter where we've been seated, the candle always blows out at our table every time.
That's bizarre.
Do you think it's the ghost?
I have never seen anything or felt anything, but I do think it's strange.
I think we need to eat there soon, to investigate.
I'm in.
Oh darn, you've talked me into it.
I read about some interesting haunted restaurants in an Indy Star article back in 2018. The article was titled, "These are the most haunted restaurants in Indianapolis, Carmel, Westfield, and Noblesville." It was written by Liz Biro and was published on October 24th, 2018.
I love the advice under the title that says, "Beware dark hallways and keep your eyes on your fries."
After reading this article, I think it's good advice.
Okay, so number 2 on our list is a place in Indianapolis.
We are talking about the Slippery Noodle near Lucas Oil Stadium.
I have wanted to eat there for a very long time.
I think we need to plan a girls' trip and try it out.
I agree, Aunt Mary. We need to eat there.
You know, for research.
So let's get into the legends about the Slippery Noodle.
When I went onto the restaurant's website, I found out that the Slippery Noodle originally opened as the Tremont House in 1850. It is Indiana's oldest continually operated bar located in the same building.
Well, the building has some very neat history to it.
That's correct. There have been a lot of famous musicians that have played there over the years, and many famous celebrities have eaten there too.
There is a connection to Aurora, Indiana because blues guitarist Lonnie Mack played there. I thought that was really cool to learn.
So let's get into some of the stories and legends about the building. I have read that the wine bottles down in the basement, they seem to open themselves.
The creepiest story is the story of the contractor who reached into a box and felt a hand next to his.
Creepy.
Yeah, I would be booking it out of there really quick if that happened to me.
The building also has your typical ghostly complaints of cold air and doors slamming.
During the Civil War, the building was part of the Underground Railroad. According to the Indy Star article, slaves were hidden there.
I have also heard rumors that there is a ghost of a slave that haunts the building as well.
There is a ghost of a murdered lady of the night that has appeared to employees by standing in an upstairs doorway.
Apparently, the ghost likes to open the door to her former room and close it. You will walk by and see it closed. When you go by again, it is open.
It sounds creepy, but looking at their menu, I'm willing to put up with some ghosts just to try the jerk chicken.
Agreed.
I'm always in for some jerk chicken. You know it's my favorite. We will go back with our next spooky restaurant after this short break.
Our podcast is growing, and it's so exciting to see all of our new followers on social media and all of the downloads of our podcast.
Most of our listeners come from iHeartRadio. However, we are on all of the major podcast platforms. If you like what you hear, please don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on whatever podcast platform you are listening to us through.
Your comments and likes help others find us. Thank you for tuning in to the Hoosier Myths and Legends. Now back to our show.
The third restaurant on our list surprised me. It's a place we have been to several times over the years, and it's also one of my favorites.
The Old Spaghetti Factory in downtown Indianapolis.
It's such a neat place. I had no idea that it was haunted.
Neither did I. I was so surprised to see that it was mentioned in that Indy Star article.
Apparently, the history of the building is that it was a dry goods warehouse back in the days before there were laws about using child labor.
Guests and employees have reported hearing kids talking and laughing near the banquet room.
Light bulbs pop and footsteps can be heard in the banquet room.
Many people think that these kids are spirits who used to work in the building when it was the warehouse.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, I'm going to be looking and listening for sounds the very next time we eat there.
Fourth on our list is a place I would love to go to, the Tippecanoe Place restaurant in South Bend.
This is the place with the lady in white that appears to guests.
You are right, Hope. So this restaurant is in the old mansion. It's in a very old mansion, and the mansion used to belong to the Studebaker family.
The building was also a home for children with disabilities before it became the restaurant.
No one knows the identity of this lady in white who has been seen roaming the hallways.
So something creepy about the ghost is that she has been known to walk right through people.
The lady is not the only ghost there, though.
Apparently, the Studebaker family's former maid, Beatrice, also haunts the mansion, and she has been seen.
So the fifth and last place on our list is the Barbie Hotel in Warsaw, Indiana.
I love the history of the Barbie Hotel.
Oh, I remember this place. You posted about it on our Instagram. This was the place Al Capone stayed at.
Correct. It is rumored that he loved staying in room 301. The restaurant has an interesting past. Back in the Roaring 20s, it was a resort, and lots of people from Chicago would come out to Indiana just to stay there.
So one of the reported legends is that you can hear the sound of a woman crying and wailing loudly.
That's creepy.
It's very creepy. Supposedly, she is the ghost of a mob boss's girlfriend who was killed at the hotel.
Many people have taken photos of orbs on the property.
An orb doesn't always mean a ghost was present.
That is true.
That is true, but it does seem weird if you keep getting the same orbs over and over again.
So have you ever eaten at one of these places on our list? Is there a haunted restaurant you would like to hear us cover on the show? We would love to hear about it. Please send us an email to HoosierMythsAndLegends@gmail.com. We may use it in a later episode. In the email, let us know if you wish to remain anonymous.
To see our source material, please visit our website, HoosierMythsAndLegends.com. Please find us and follow us on Facebook or Instagram.
Our theme song was written and recorded by Wet Blanket. The song title is Taxidermy Race Car. Wet Blanket is frontman Joseph Carpenter, lead guitar Earl Wilhelm, rhythm guitar Joshua Carpenter, bass Parker Warman, and drums Christian Kittle. Thank you for tuning in to the Hoosier Myths and Legends podcast.
As always, stay spooky.